Yo, I think we're in now, right? Are we live? Yo, we're in it. We're in the sanctuary. It is live. We are live streaming right now. I'm glad to have y'all here. You have no idea how just this is like a dream come true. So if you could, man, just tap in real quick in the comments. Just put where you're coming in from. All right, I'm coming in from Tacoma, Washington. I'm gonna put a little tree emoji. I'm gonna put the evergreen in there. Shout out to the evergreen state. So where you coming from today? Let me know where you tapping in from. And by the way, good evening. Happy hump day. It's like we're made it to this point of the week. So they say it's all downhill from here. I don't know if I like that term, right? It's downhill. But I'm definitely in a place where I feel like things are getting easier. And it's not just because it's Wednesday. It's just I'm embracing the life of ease in this season. So glad to see y'all popping in. Gabe, yes, sir, in the building, coming in from mobile. Not mobile. Mobile. Yeah, coming in from upstate New York, the medicinal. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. It's like 8 o'clock on that side. So my aim is to keep us at that hour mark, right? I'm not going to be your Southern Baptist preacher trying to keep us here until, well, way past our bedtime. So again, wherever you coming in from, just chap in. Let me know where you coming in from. All right. I see we got Illinois coming in. Thanks, Will. So they're both wrong. They're both. What is it? Not mobile, not mobile. How do we pronounce that, Gabe? Christina coming in from the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State. Home sweet home is what I like to call it. Yeah, we got more people popping in. By the way, again, thank you so much for being here. Tonight's discussion is about embracing change, but I want to let this be known from the jump. This is not about me trying to give you answers. I don't have all the answers. I have my own experiential wisdom. I've got my skills. I've got my intellect. But more importantly, like we're in this space together. So my hope is that you will be willing to share. Because just as much as I might have to offer you, I don't want this to be a one-sided exchange. As a matter of fact, yesterday we had a tea time. It was kind of like my test, my trial of how live streaming will work. Mobile, by the way. And in that process, I actually found that we had a guy named Mike, part of the community. He was teaching me and Alyssa, another member of our community, about law and trademarking and doing things online and getting your business started. So it's so beautiful to have the conversations already organically just being a mutual exchange. That's what my hope is that we can use this as a safe space for us to talk about situations that other people in our immediate circle of influence might not have the capacity to give us that back and forth. I'm realizing that these days, some folks they're very surface level. And I have to meet them where they are and also not get butt hurt when they can't go any deeper than that. They changing, right? They on their way. The progress is there. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. By the way, I'm checking my notes real quick. I want to make sure I keep us on schedule, right? By the way, we're talking about the law of impermanence. All right. Does anyone have an idea? Oh, you can't hear anything. Ooh. Is anyone else in this same situation? Anyone else? Is the volume good? Can we hear? I told you we live right now, so this is good. This is good feedback. Yes, again, we're talking about the law of impermanence. And what that means at its like base level is shit's going to change. Like change is inevitable. but it's always not welcomed, at least not in my life, right? There's some days I'm like, oh, switch everything up, change it all. And then on some other ends, I'm like, hold on, wait, universe, why you taking that? God, why you wanna shift this? Or relationships, right? The money start changing. Come on, let's talk about finances. All right, in America. All these things are shifting, all these things are changing. And I know on my end, I get caught up in those changes a lot. Sometimes I find myself changed by the change. And I'm hoping that I can walk away with a little bit more insight on how to not shift so much with my external environment. And maybe that's where your experiential wisdom comes in. I'm also hoping that in our conversation, that as I ask questions and you provide your feedback and your answers, that we might come to some type of place for ourselves as a community where we say, okay, I see where I can make change and how to embrace that change. But before we get started, I actually want to give us a moment to ground, right? Some of us are just getting off work. Some of us we had to take some time away from the kids. All right, we're gonna be real. Shout out to all the parents out there. So what I want you to do is, if you're in that situation, if you're in a space where you feel comfortable, right? If you're in your sanctuary, my sanctuary right now happens to be my mind, my body, and this office. I love this space. What's up, Mike? And then we'll just take a few moments to just settle in, right? So get comfortable. You gotta move, you gotta shift, you gotta stretch a little bit. And then I want you to take a breath in. So like smell the roses. And then blow out the candle. Good. Do that again. Smell the roses. And blow out the candle. Smell the roses. Get that breath down into your belly. Let it rise up to your chest. And then when you exhale, blow it out. You got about 30 candles. Okay, maybe not that many. Some of y'all got like 50, 60. It's all right. You got to blow them all out at once. And all I want you to do is continue to breathe in this same manner, right? So bringing the breath into the belly, let it go through the ribs, come up to the chest. And exhale, release all that. And maybe you begin to close your eyes. Maybe your hands on your lap. And just for a few more moments, continue the same pattern of breathing. In through the nose. And when you breathe out, drop the shoulders, let the chest collapse, let the belly come in. And just see what that feels like as you continue the same in and out. And while we're here, notice the changes that are occurring naturally in your body. You might notice your shoulders relax. Maybe there's some tension, some things that were on your mind, and now it's not really that big of a deal. Maybe you're starting to feel some subtle shifts and some aches, some pains, some sensations. And just do that for 3 to 5 more breaths. Smelling the roses and blowing out the candle. And now just come to your normal breathing. No need to control it. Just maybe notice how you're breathing and see if there has been any shift between how you started or maybe how you were feeling even logging into this call and the change that may have occurred up until this present moment. How's your body feeling? What's the quality of your breath in this moment? Is it a bit slower and deeper? Did it remain the same? And maybe even consider how your mental state is, right? Is there a sense of clarity in your mind in this moment? Yeah. Now, if you'd like, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. Such a simple practice. That was about 4 or 5 minutes, right? Maybe you've experienced that change, even on a subtle level or very drastic. Nonetheless, there's change. Hopefully, this has been change for the better. And that will be the conversation of tonight, is embracing change. I don't know about you, but the thought of change kind of like freaks me out sometimes. It gets a bit overwhelming. So maybe that's the question we'll start with, right? When you think about change and you think about just how often, how frequent it is, how does change impact you? All right. So what's your relationship with change? Answer that in the chat. When you think about change, how does that impact you? I think I asked this earlier in the broadcast channel. As a poll, and some people were like, "Oh, love change. I embrace it. It's easy." And shout out to those people, right? Maybe that's you. You are exactly who we want on this call today to help us figure out how to embrace it. Come on, Cece says she's feeling grounded. That's the aim. That's what we're here for. So again, put it in the chat. When you think about change, how does that impact you? What feelings do we have toward change? Relationship with change reflects relationship with self. Ooh, Will, you already diving in. Come on. Come on. I'd love for you to elaborate a bit more on that, because that's good. All right. We could spend a whole hour unpacking that, but I want you to maybe give us a bit more on what you mean by that. All right. And while Will's elaborating, please input your suggestion, your words, right? There is no wrong answer in this. You're sharing your truth. Ain't nothing wrong with your truth. I feel sometimes change is pushed. Ooh. Instead of taking time to lean or learn the current, it's as if change is weaponized to avoid. These some words, weaponized. Oof, pushed. All right. I used to be an English teacher, so I like looking at the impact, the connotation that certain words carry. Yeah, like it's almost as if we've been conditioned to be afraid of change, right? I think about when friends, family, they were like, "Dang, Trev, you gonna move all the way out to Seattle, man? That's crazy. I know, when you gonna come back to the house? You gonna come back to the crib?" I left for a reason. Like, what do you mean? I'm not avoiding going back home, but I know I needed change. And I'm also aware that people in my hometown and even in my family, my friend group, change is kind of scary. All right. Lack of self, more external control, more sense of self, more acceptance of what's present. So lack of self. Ooh, okay, I see what you're saying. Will you give up control when you are you give control to the external world, that is control over how you feel, how you think, how you act. But instead, you're saying if you gain more sense of like a relationship with change, then you can have more of the capacity to accept how change comes around and how to ebb and flow with that change. Alyssa says she likes to lean in and then get stressed when it happens too fast. Same. I typically like to bungee jump into change. I'm like, you know what? I am experiencing fear and I don't want to, so I'm going to just dive in head first. And I try to force change to happen fast. I'm learning that that comes with its own set of consequences. The fear of change makes me jump right into planning the next move. Ooh, talk about it, CC. Talk about it. Come on. Ah, makes me jump right in to plan the next move. Like, okay, I gotta get prepared. I don't like the unsettled, this uncertainty. I need to have a plan, and it's gotta work my way. We're gonna talk about those plans because plans change, don't they? Oof, plans change. Brother B, this topic is truly divine timing, ain't it? Come on, this is not of me. I'm just a vessel. I came here to open up the space for us to have a conversation with like-minded individuals who also are like, yo, this change thing, I've been dealing with this for 13 years and some change. There's a transition phase with change from old to new, and sometimes I feel stuck there. Yeah, stuck, stagnant, indecisive, inactive. I feel you. We're gonna get into this. And learning from survival, it's exhausting. The change is always. Yes. Thank y'all so much. This is good. This is so good. Now, personally, I'm gonna be real. When I think about change and I consider, does it bring comfort or does it stir up fear in my life? I've already mentioned, like, fear is something I try to avoid. I don't like being uncomfortable. I don't like being challenged typically. It's uneasy because I feel that, and maybe you resonate with this, right? We've worked so hard to get comfortable in this season of our life that by the time shifts start happening, like I said, shifts start happening, it's like we're trying to grab hold of something to like ground ourselves, right? But the question is, the things that you're grabbing a hold of, like, are you aware that those too will change? And for me, that's where I think most of my fear lies with change. My hesitancy to flow with change comes from that that letting go of the things that once made help kept me comfortable, or the willingness to let go of things that may or may not change. Personal story. We're gonna get real. We're gonna get real. Let me see what Gabe had to say before I dive in. I embrace change, but I'm used to resolution. So I see change as an opportunity for growth. Come on. Come on. Can we get plant emojis underneath Gabe's comment? All right. And if you liking what he got, I'm about to star this one. I need that. I need to go. Okay. Change. I see change as an opportunity for growth, adaptation, and learning something new that makes the learning curve faster for others that I mentor. That's what the sanctuary is for. To know that we can embrace this change as not only an opportunity for us to grow, to learn, to evolve, but then we can also share the lessons that we've gained through our change, our season of transformation, so that we can maybe help the next one who might enter into that season a little bit after us, or who might be in the midst of that season with us. So thank you, Gabe. Come on. Yes, I'm gonna drop some plants on that too. One time for growth. And I'm putting them in pots. Okay, so before I moved out here to Washington, I was in South Texas. I was ready to leave. I was getting ready to, in that time of my life in teaching, specifically in the high school realm. And my therapist asked me something, right? Shout out to Christine, man. She asked me on my second to last session with her, Trevor, are you moving as a means of pursuing something new? Or are you trying to run away from something? I'm gonna ask y'all. All right, if you are one who is willing to change in the realm of pursuit, I want you to drop a 1 in the comments. All right, 1. If you were like Gabe, right, you see change as a chance to grow and to evolve and to level up, like drop a 1 in the comments. If you were like me in that time, right, where my honest answer was I was running away from something, I want you to put a 2 in the comments. I'm gonna be real. I gotta keep it real with us. I was leaving. I was running away. All right. So where we at? We got any people who are pursuing things, or we got some folks who are running? That question resonates with my statements earlier. Change should not be used to run away or avoid. No matter where you go, there you are. I think I have a book that is titled that, and to this day, I've been reading it since college. I still have some highs and lows with that title. Come on, we got CC 1, Gabe 1, Alyssa 1. Come on, that's why we're in this building, right? That's why we're in the sanctuary. So we got some people who are in both seasons, who are on both sides, and we can help each other out. And for the most part, I like that. For the most part, yeah, we got to keep it real. Like 75, 80%, you know, I'm with the pursuit. And what I did not realize was in me trying to run away from a situation, I actually just it was like a snake eating its own tail. I tried to run and then ended up coming right back to the same old issues, and was talking to my therapist, my new therapist here in Washington, about the same situations that I was talking to and could have been continuing that conversation with my initial therapist. And one of the things that really struck me the most, it's like the first time I've ever publicly said this, so I'm feeling that discomfort, right? Last year, my vehicle was repossessed. The hit to my ego that took. I don't know if you've ever experienced like repossession of any sort, right? Foreclosures or anything that bankruptcy, you know, these are words that in the English and in American society is like next to purgatory, right? This is like public shame where people be like, oh, you broke, you ain't got no what. While no one knew about that other than my partner and my mama, I felt like I needed to hide because that change was not something that I wanted, but I was also unwilling to change my behaviors financially. And because of my resistance to change, while things were shifting, I ended up losing. I had to literally let go of the physical manifestation, the physical representation of that vehicle, and then still notice the emotional hold, the emotional attachment I had, not to the vehicle, but to the status of the vehicle, to the way the vehicle made me feel, because I was riding around in my RAV4 hybrid 2020, whatever. Like, when I no longer had that material to identify with, and it was ripped away from me by my own doing, I must say, I was met face to face with the fleeting and emotions that kept changing. Come on, Brother B said my car was repoed in 2019. I appreciate that, bro. You know, we in this together, and it feels good to know I'm not alone. So that season of my life, not only did it bring up my fears about what people will think, but primarily, what was my partner going to do? Like, she's seeing me struggle financially, and I know that statistically speaking, I think the number one reason divorce happens in America is for finances. It's a financial reason that typically separates homes. I know that my relationship is one of the strongest, best, one of the purest blessings I've ever received. I have grown so much in the 3.5 years we've been together. I was afraid that the way society views marriage and relationships and finances, how they, if you ain't got no money, I can't be with you, right? I had all of these narratives start to rise up in my frontal lobe, where I'm like, these are legitimate fears of mine. How do I approach this? And that's when I had to get real comfortable with change. Because I realized that while I lost the vehicle, there was one thing that remained constant, at least one thing. Oof. Anybody else got something that they've lost recently that they did not want to lose? Right? Or maybe there was something that you had to give away, that you had to let go of, and you experienced some of the discomfort with that. If so, you can just say it briefly, right? Put that in the chat. What was the one thing that you had to let go of, or that you are in the process of letting go of? And how was that transition for you? Oh, man, I love y'all, by the way. I love y'all so much. Yeah, don't, and please, I'm only going to show up and be vulnerable in this way because I'm hoping that I might set the tone for us to be vulnerable too. Again, I understand that we can't share these deep truths with everybody all the time, because some folks use it to weaponize us, right? Or they weaponize the truth against us. Let's see. Come on, brother B. I know we talked about this. We talked about this recently, right? Losing a client for reasons outside of his control, only to later see that God was giving him time and focus, to focus creative energy on what his soul was really desiring. It's just like, I know there's that cliche. Hold on, I'm gonna do this, right? Y'all seen that cliche cliche photo, right? It's a little bear, but God want to hide the little bear, and he like, look, if you just give me the little one, I got something in store for you. Man, I'm not trying to hear that. Sometimes I just need to know, like, man, you about to give me something better or what? And when it doesn't happen, or if it doesn't happen the way I want it to, right? It can be a little tough. So appreciate you, brother B, for just keeping it real. Gabe, a long-term relationship and embracing the change of having new experiences that you would have never experienced. Like, are you willing to let go of what you know in hopes for what could be better, right? The uncertainty. There's something about that level of faith and trust that's like, okay, I'm going to release this and I'm going to believe that something better is on the way. All right. If you've let go of something and something better has come along the way, like, I just want you to put a 3 in the chat. I'm gonna put 3 because I know that, look, it wasn't just me. There were multiple forces at play. Right. So if you know that when you let go of something, you had that faith to know that it was coming back, something better was on the way, just drop a 3 in there. CC, you say you working on letting go of your past. It has been a challenge, but liberation. Come on, we're here for the freedom, right? Shaking off them shackles. Alyssa, your apartment and roommate last month turned into a blessing for your son and you to receive your first place. Come on. That's so beautiful, right? The law of impermanence is in our favor if we roll with it. Like, if we say, okay, things are moving, things are shifting, I'm gonna take my hands off. And then it's like we start to declutter. We start to clear house, right? Get rid of some of the things that no longer serve us. It's beautiful. It's just like washes it away. Like, come on, I'm gonna take this downstream. You don't need that no more. Come on, Gabe. I got to drop the 333, CC 333. Yeah. The medicinal, letting go of my old self and old beliefs. That's the work. that's the work in a nutshell. Living dreams as I burned out, running from the nightmare. Oof. unknown mental health was blinding me from knowing my whole humanity. It's like it's the certain necessity for awareness of self. Like sometimes we don't even know what we need to let go of because we've identified with it. Like, can you imagine if someone was like, okay, you're no longer black? What? Like my whole, if someone were to tell me that I'm no longer African American, there is definitely a season of my life where I was like, I don't even know how to not be, because I had wrapped my identity around that cultural understanding of self. And if something were not black, or if it was white people stuff, I wouldn't do it. I had to be willing to let go of my old beliefs, my old self. So the medicinal, I hear you. Gabe, I hear you. CC, I hear you. Like we're in it. Yes. Ooh, this is good. Now, imagine the mindset of those who think they can dictate the value of others. There's only so much I can change. And I know one thing I cannot change is somebody else. Like I used to work with kids, y'all. I was working with 14-year-olds, teaching them Monday through Friday, 6 periods a day. And then I go teach the girls volleyball, and I'm coaching girls in track and field. Like, I know I cannot change anybody else. I had to learn that the hard way. So I'm glad we in it though. You said I'd die if I lost my melanin, especially if you're in the South somewhere in that sun. You know that sun is brutal right now in this season. So for me, now that we've understood, right, as a common ground that change is inevitable, we know change is gonna happen. My question is, how are you handling change on a practical way? And I'm gonna say this: I'm a practical being. Theories are cool, philosophy is cute, but how do I put this into practice? So that's my question, right? What are your practical ways of embracing change or navigating change, that transitional phase? We do try to allow how others see us. Yeah. I think we can talk more about self-awareness with that one, Gabe. I think there's two parts of it, right? Knowing yourself and knowing how you impact others. Oof. But let's just talk about what are practical ways that you navigate change. Mike, focus on what I can control and don't allow the thought of change to overwhelm me. My therapist, my first one, told me the same thing. Focus on what you can control. That was the greatest lesson I got from her. And it took me years to put it into practice, or at least to see how interconnected that statement was with my entire life. So what is a way that you are able to differentiate the things that you can control and the things that are outside of your control? Like, help us out. Help me out, please. Yeah. What are your practical ways that you are learning to embrace and or navigate seasons of change? Why am I fighting myself? One of the realest questions. Oh, CC, this one, I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps thinking about that. Why am I fighting myself? Yeah, there's a question that a friend of mine recommends that I ask myself, and this is a question that their therapist shared with them. Are you seeing this common theme right here? Get you some professional help. It's good for you. The question, it's three questions, right? The first one is, what did I receive? And you can ask this about any situation or your entire day, right? What did I receive? What did I give? The third one is, how did I complicate things? And when I think about how change is inevitable, right? There's going to be an ebb and flow. There will be a coming and going. There will be a giving and receiving, right? So as things change, I'm receiving some things, right? Alyssa received a space for her home, for her son, right? And they got to embrace this space. But what she had to give was that relationship to roommates and the attachment to that space, maybe. And thank you for being real, right? Let's see. Brother B, take time for introspective writing, where I get to the root of why what wants to change needs to change. People, do we have journals? Do we have journals? Please tell me we have journals. Like, if you don't have, all right, I'm like 11, 12 years in, not just this one journal, but I've been doing this for a minute. And brother, you got a good point. Introspective writing. Can I get my thoughts out? Can I annotate my own thoughts? Can I study my life and what has led me to this point? And then be aware of the things that are shifting so I can play my part and adjust and be flexible. Take things in stride. Yes. Practice a day-to-day perspective, life or death deals when it comes. Otherwise, approach with grace. Come on. Don't be in a rush to make a mistake. That one struck the solar plexus. Moment by moment when necessary. Less planning out every instance. Ooh, not getting caught up in the details. I try to stay consistent and just control my routine habits so I can surrender to the overall season of change. Can we? I'm starting that one. Surrender to the overall season of change. Who was it mentioned earlier, right? I think it may have been Mike. You talked about there's some things outside of your control. Yo, like, can we talk about all of the things that we don't have to do? And I'm not even gonna start big, right? Like, you ain't gotta have the sun going, you ain't gotta do the phases of the moon. You don't even have to work your spleen. Do you even know where your spleen is? Where's your gallbladder? Do you know what it does? like what have you do you have to pump your heart? No. There's so much in our own body and mind that we have no real control over. It's constantly doing things, constantly changing. And might I add, it works in our favor. It's so intelligent. It's so smart. This ain't AI, right? This is OG intelligence. Like, through millions of years of evolution, through the divine inspiration of the creator, like, we have a human body that does everything we needed to do. And our job is simple. Get some sleep, put some, decent food in your body, and then move your body, right? And then if you really want to take it up a notch, kick it with some people that you enjoy. Life will be great. I practice gratitude to keep me grounded and balanced, to be able to embrace change and overcome negative speech and thoughts. We have to renew our mind. That internal dialogue is potent. I've learned that people who try to control everything are operating in fear. Yes, Mike, that's me. I noticed that I was trying to do too much. I was trying to build a system rather than focusing on the experience. And then the experience actually ended up being fear that then led all of my control and my desire for control, that false sense of control, if we're going to keep it real. Mike said, what's a gallbladder? There is no control, only influence. Come on. Only influence. Okay, so let's talk about it, right? For me, something that I've used as a means of maintaining positive influence over my own life and experience, no matter the change, or at least to get a safe place to practice experience, like that sense of influence, I had to take care of myself. I've been practicing yoga for 10 years. Now, mind you, I was running track, playing basketball, football, all around athlete. And when I got to yoga, then I downloaded the app. I grabbed my phone in college, downloaded this one app for free, and I was like, let me try this out. 20 minutes, I was getting my ass kicked every day, Monday through Friday. I was like, bro, what is this? And there's something about not just practicing yoga that helped me experience change. But one thing I really love is when I teach yoga and I watch everybody change. Right. Put it like this. If I got a studio, we at Be Yoga Burian, it holds 45 people, and I'm in the front desk watching folks come in and out. And when I watch them come into the studio, I might even ask this question like, hey, how's your week been? How are you doing today? Like what part of the body do you want to show some love to? What parts of your body are aching? And I ask these questions to kind of get a feel for how people are entering the space. And you'd be surprised at how many folks I see walk in like, oh, my back and, my side, I don't know, my neck. I got a crook in my neck. 20 minutes into the practice, and these are the same people who are trying to do back bends and standing on one leg, forehead on the shin. And I'm like, bro, that is not the same body you walked in here complaining about. That change happened. That's beautiful because they influence that change on their own. Yes, I may have been there to guide the flow and the poses, but what really changes is their influence on their situation. They're taking control. They're empowered. They're using the power that they have to grant themselves a moment of peace, ease, release. Like, it's beautiful. These are the same people who one day they're like, I don't know if I can do downward dog. And then I see them trying to do a flying lizard. And I'm like, change is here, huh? Growth. I'm loving it. So, and I like that. It's not change. It's not control. It's influence. The way I like to say this, for myself, it's a mantra. I will be curious about my body. I will be compassionate toward my body. And I will collaborate with my body. The curiosity helps me see, what am I working with? What aches, pains, strengths, and powers do I feel like I have today? And if there are some areas that I'm having some difficulties, let me have some compassion and not force or fight my body. And then collaborate. Yes, I hold that space of, okay, yes, my hamstrings are tight. What can we do with this situation? I'm not going to stop at the, oh, I feel bad, not going to do any work today. We going to get this work. But we're going to do it from a place of compassion, curiosity, and collaboration so that I can influence change in my reality, realizing I don't have control over change in my overall reality. Yes, curiosity, compassionate, and collaboration. Come on, Gabe taking notes. That's why I rock with you, Gabe. You listening. And then, so that's yoga, right? That's the movement postures. Anybody in here meditate? If you meditate, drop a 5 in there. Drop a 5 in the comments. If you experiment with meditation, if you are an experienced practitioner of meditation, drop your 5s in the comments. You want to come face to face with change, try to sit still. Yeah. Come on, Gabe. Come on, Will. Come on, Christina. And there's no shame if you don't meditate. My thing is, I actually want to maybe offer a bit more insight. And then the folks who are here who also experiment with meditation can vouch for me. No matter what yoga pose you try and take, whatever workout you might be into, and whatever relationship you've ever been a part of, One of the hardest things I have ever done in my life is try to sit still and kind of like create some distance between my thoughts and my like who I am. How often does your mind change? Like, think about this. How often is your mind changing? My lady, I love her. Right. I'm sorry. We'll see. Michael say, I mean, it's challenging at times to sit still and reflect. I used to be used to being busy to avoid. But here's the thing: can you also not reflect? Because even that is doing, and then it's constantly changing, right? So I love my lady. I'm gonna get back to this little story briefly. KJ is a beautiful partner. She's phenomenal, and her Pisces energy, along with potentially some undiagnosed ADHD. I will ask her a question. She'll give me an answer. I give her about 10 seconds of silence, and then it will change. And it might change again. And then by the time, let's say we're going out to eat, right? By the time we pull up, she might be like, "What are we doing here?" And I'm like, "What you mean? You said you want to." And she'd be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." Yo, sometimes I was looking at her like, what happened in that gap of time, whether it was 10 seconds, 10 minutes? Like what was so much changed? And then I realized, like, oh, when I sit in my meditation, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. My intention is to sit right here and, ooh, man, I got a to-do list. These dogs is getting on my nerves. I'm supposed to be breathing. All right, I'm gonna take 3 breaths. I'm supposed to be calling somebody back today. My stomach growling. Damn, that's only 2 breaths. Let me start this over. Right? So that's how meditation feels, because I'm aware, maybe not always aware. Sometimes I'm just like, my mind is shifting. It's going here, it's going there, it's all over the place. So I want to ask you, what has helped you in your meditation practice remain focused? And if it's not meditation, what is something that helps you stay focused? Like one single point of focus. I don't believe in multitasking. I've tried it. I've experimented. It's not that you're not capable of doing it. I think just the quality of our quality is diminished when we try to do too much at once. Too much at once. Again, what's some tips that you have for remaining focused, remaining devoted to that practice of meditation? Sounds, okay. Are you playing certain, like you doing like binaural beats, like lo-fi? Help me out. Playing flutes? I rock with the flutes. Showing up consistently even when I don't want to. You know, I like that, because if you're showing up, then it's not you that doesn't want to show up. I just want us to kind of think about that, right? If I am choosing to show up, then I am aware that there is something that does not want to be a part of that. But that something does not have to be me, because obviously I am the one showing up. Remind myself of my purpose when I start to drift. Come on, intention setting is so key. I actually use a metronome to support meditation. Gabe, did you play instruments? Were you in the band? I ain't never heard somebody use a metronome, but I might try that. Ooh, right. The medicinal said, I might have to try that metronome. Is it on Spotify, or did you have to get one off Amazon? All right, you got a link? Come on, help us out. He was in the band. See, okay, band of music. I was like, who else is out here with a metronome and is going to use it in a functional manner outside of music? Like, that's genius. Come on. Brother B said, what really helped me deepen my meditation practice was overcoming the fear of meditating in public. There's so much that comes up, right? Like, I imagine there is the fear of, okay, what are people thinking about me? Am I safe? Are my things going to be taken? What are people looking at me? How much time do I have? Like there's so many distractions, and to be able to ground yourself no matter where you are, I think that's so beautiful. Christina, focusing on the breath, stillness. I am not my thoughts. Come on. Come on. Look, what I don't know, man. Cece been in that class. She been listening to somebody. You been in that yoga studio, huh? Huh? Well, I like this answer because for me, what I have picked up in this meditation practice is that while having a metronome sounds phenomenal, right? Being in public might help us out. Being in that consistency, something that is always available to us for us to focus on and to reground ourselves is the breath. But because it's so subtle and it's always happening, we tend to look right over it. And for me, my yoga teachers taught me, if you can turn your attention to the most subtle things, then even the loudest distractions, they all simply just become noise. That's all there is. You don't have to label them. That's a car engine. That's a dog barking. That's a kid. You just say noise, noise, noise. Hearing, hearing, hearing. Feeling, feeling, feeling. Smelling, smelling, smelling. And because the breath is always readily available to us, we always have something to ground ourselves. That even when our focus is scattered, all it takes is just for us to become more aware of the life force, the simple practice that has carried you all the way from the time you pop out the womb to this moment right now. The ability to breathe and to be aware of your breath. So here's what I'd like for us to do. Y'all okay with that? I want to do a meditation to kind of close this out. And we got about 10 minutes, 8 minutes. So let's do about 5-minute meditation. So wherever you are, get back into that comfortable position. And without controlling the way you breathe, just notice it. It might be shallow. It may be changing a little bit at a time. I actually want you to check in with yourself. Which nostril are you breathing through more in this moment? Just feel that. And then can you bring your awareness to the sensation of breathing, right? So for me, when I'm breathing in, I kind of feel this light tingly feeling that crawls up my arm, and at the top of my breath, it travels through my nose, and it's like a slight sensation in my head. When I breathe out, it's kind of warm over the top of my lip. And my body kind of settles at the bottom of the exhale. And just, I want you to continue to just watch your breathing. And if there are thoughts, label them as thoughts and let them just be thoughts. Even the sound of my voice is just noise. You're just hearing. You don't have to actively listen, just hear and let it be. And maybe be curious As you're noticing your breathing, what is changing? Don't have to answer it. Just notice what is changing. And again, if the thoughts have drifted away, come back to the breath. And you may repeat this silently to yourself. You may even repeat it out loud. This is a mantra that has been helping me lately as I have embraced the seasons of change. And the first of that is I will be joyful. And I will be devoted to my practice. I will live honestly. I will be grateful. I will be at ease. I will be joyful. I will be devoted to my practice. I will live honestly. I will be grateful. I will be at ease. I will be joyful. I will be devoted to my practice. I will live honestly. I will practice gratitude. I will be at ease. And just come back to your normal breathing for a moment. And maybe you bring your attention to your toes and your hands, and you might kind of wiggle those a bit. Maybe flood the eyes open. Now, my one question that I want us to chime in on the chat is this. As you were aware of what was changing, what's something that did not change? Just take a moment, consider, and then put it in the chat. What's something that did not change? Uh-oh. I'm not sure if you still hear me. It seems as if my laptop has frozen. Gotta love it. So I can't see the answers, and I'm actually not sure if you can still see me. But what I would like to say is, on my end, one thing I know that has not changed, that will not change, is who I am at my core. And that is the observer. That's the one who gets to watch breathing happen. The one that is aware of all the change, the transitions, and the shifts that happen in this body and in this mind, and all the shifts that happen in this universe around me. And while that can be, at times, maybe a bit scary or hard to remember, there's beauty and ease in the fact that while everything else is changing, you do not have to change. But the way that we express ourselves and the way that we show up, that may alter. I call that adaptability, flexibility. I call that going with the flow. So I'm still not sure what's taking place with my computer. And even with that, I'm not attached to what may happen, this change here. One thing I know for sure is that while change is inevitable, my soul is eternal. And the source of all this change continues to remain the same as well. And I have faith in that. Because as much change as I've endured, I've seen, and I've experienced, one thing I know for sure, change has always been in my favor. Always has been. And always will be. So with these technical difficulties, and me hoping that you're still here, I would like to close us out by saying just thank you again for being a part of Soul Session number 1, the first and far from the last of our time of community, connection, sharing, learning, and growing in this safe space called the Sanctuary. It's honestly a dream come true to celebrate this day with you. And I want to share the link to our school community so that you can have free access for the entire month of August. Okay. And I will probably just put that, man, why is this computer acting like this? What I'll do is I'm honestly just going to put it in the sanctuary. I'll put it in the broadcast channel. And please just hop in, let your presence be known, announce that you are there, with a wall post, with a comment, with anything. But just know that this is my excitement, this is my joy, and technical difficulties or not, it has happened. Change has occurred, and it has been for the better. So know that from the bottom of my heart, I am forever grateful for your presence here. And that the light in me honors and loves the light in you. And I look forward to us connecting some more as we cultivate this safe space for me, you, and the many others who are well deserving of this. They just might not know that it exists just yet. And until then, take care of yourself, honor your sanctuary. Much love and peace. I am the thing that does not change. My gratitude for time and effort, showing up for myself and not my relationships are dead. This is so good. Oh. I don't know if anybody is still here, and I'm not sure if this will still be on the Instagram live stream, and if it's recording, but I'm reading the comments after the screen froze and the camera froze, but the microphone was still there. And seeing these answers when I asked, as we embrace change, what was the one thing that remained constant? And my heart is full. My heart is just like Well, I got the, oh man. My intention behind hosting these sessions, behind the sanctuary, behind everything I'm doing at this point in my life is with the aim that we might all come to this sense of unity with our highest self. And there are a lot of systems, there are a lot of processes and formulas, practices from thousands of years ago, from our ancestors, from different cultures, from across the entire globe. And it seems that all of them have the same mission in mind, that is to help individuals connect with God, connect with Source. And it's not that we are disconnected. That's not the case at all. I think we're just ignorant. We don't know that we are connected to something so great, so powerful, and so beautiful. The aim for me is that I might help us clear out some of the distractions, get rid of some of the clutter that is standing in between us experiencing that sense of unity. And I promise to remain devoted to this mission of helping us connect with the Source. My heart is full. My spirit is just so vibrant right now. And I'm just so thankful. So to anybody and everybody that was here for the live, thank you so much. Your presence truly has made my dream come true. And I know that we're just getting started. This is just the beginning. And I look forward to sharing much more time, much more energy, much more love, and more wisdom. It's a two-way street. I will learn from you just as much as you learn from me. And we'll learn from the people in the community just as much as we teach the people in the community. That's the vision of the sanctuary. And I'll continue to do my part to make sure that this remains the vision of the sanctuary. Well, until next time, take care of yourself on your sanctuary. We'll talk soon. Peace.